Hello, Indianapolis, and welcome to Unity Soul Network. I am here with Chrystal Hines, president and founder of the Inner Beauty program. There is so much to unpack with this, but one thing that you do every year, amongst a lot of things that you do throughout the year, which is we'll get into as well, is the pageant that you have. And this year is, what number is this?
Well, we have year 21.
21.
We're like a legal grown woman this year.
At last year's pageant, actually, I think I've been a part of maybe 6 to 7 of them. But last year's pageant was amazing. And this is coming from a male's perspective. I like vintage stuff. So to see what you guys did last year, whose idea was that to do a 1920s roaring theme?
So one of our amazing mentors, Jackie Hughes, she came up with the Roaring 20s theme since it was our 20th annual. She just was like, let's be creative. Let's take it back. And I was like, whoa, blown away. Because that was the first year that we actually had a theme other than just being a pageant, So yes. It was truly amazing.
And speaking of, just last year and all the years having this being the 21st year, what is it like to come up with concepts for the pageant from pageant one up until now? Because I say that because of the evolution of time. The kids change. I know that Inner Beauty has have girls now who helps Inner Beauty. So what has that transition been like, as well as preparing every year for the pageant?
Well, I'm not going to lie. The pageant seems to come up so fast and it's always a year apart, but it's like right here on my heels every time. And I feel like because it's been annual, and it has been like an evolution and ever changing, but it just feels the same. I was 20 years old when I started the pageant. And when I look back at pictures, I'm like, oh my God, like this was like my first baby. Like I really have like grown up doing a pageant for 21 years. Yeah. And the magic is, like you said, when the girls have been a part of this and then they come back and they help to direct this. So like our dance coordinator, Jada Miller, she was a pageant young lady back in the day, not too far back in the day because she's still pretty young. Victoria Robinson, also pageant dance coordinator. Mm-hmm. They both help to coordinate on stage. When you see me walking around backstage, like they're really directing. Yeah. I'm trying to get people in place. I'm looking at the audience. I'm looking at all these things, but it's our former girls who are up there really like putting pieces together because they know what it's like. And I love to see them like model after me. So I'm looking at them sound like me and move like me and put girls in place like me. And I'm like, oh my God, like it just shows me that this can live on forever. Well beyond my years.
Yeah, I was going to say that it really seems like you have created something that is just not yours. Sometimes we see people create stuff for them and then the legacy dies off, but this is a real pageant. Like it's the real deal. The way that they the gowns and the dresses is one thing, but for you guys to really get the young ladies to perform their best talents, and they actually love the process. Not everything behind the scenes. This is actually my daughter's first year in the pageant, and she's little, so it's just so fun for her. But for some of the the older ones, the older they get, the more stubborn they get. But on stage, you could never tell the difference. I mean, they're just how teenagers are. They say one thing, but they're really happy in the inside. But let's just kind of rewind the clock back with Inner Beauty itself. We say the name so commonly, but how and when did you come up with the name of Inner Beauty and seeing it 21 years later, the whole program, not just the pageant. We haven't even talked about the other stuff that you guys do, but just the name that you came up with 21 years ago, or probably even longer than that. What did that mean to you to see it evolve today? And how'd you come up with that?
So actually back then when I was 20, 21 years ago, I was working at a bridal shop.
Okay.
And I was like always buying these dresses that were marked down. They were $200, $300, $400. They'd be marked down to $10 and $20. I just started buying all of them. And I'm a former pageant girl. I had my share of being a part of it. And I was like, I think I'll do a pageant with the girls at my church. I was the youth director, the youth Bible study teacher, the choir director, all those things, Baptist church back then. And so I was like, I think I'll do a pageant. And so in preparing, I was like, oh, I remember how I felt some of the years. I remember even as light as I am, not being light enough, even as thin as I was, not being thin enough. And I was like, oh, I don't want anybody to feel like that. I don't want any of our girls to feel like that. Yeah. So I want to make sure that if they're a size 2 or 32, if they're light skinned or have a beautiful black essence, whatever it is, I want every single girl to feel valued in this pageant. And so I was like, I think I'll make it like an inner beauty pageant. What could I call it? An inner beauty pageant. So I just sat for hours like thinking of what I could call an inner beauty pageant. I'll just call it the inner beauty pageant. And at that time, that wasn't a common theme. So you kind of find these things on TV now, and some people are endorsing inner beauty, but that was not the theme back in the day. It was all about what you can look like from the magazine, how straight your hair could be, how blue your eyes could be.
We were definitely a magazine generation. From Jet, Word. And the others that were sold in stores. So I definitely know what you mean. Even with that, Jet Beauty, and then some of the other magazines having one woman represent the beauty for the month. And, they put short descriptions and different things like that. But, I'm not a woman, so I don't know. But I think that a small biography is not enough to show a representation on what to be in a bikini suit. That's not showing you the values.
Right. If you read the fine print, she might have been a doctor, but the focus is on how beautiful her body is in the eyes of who is putting on the magazine.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. So, that was beautiful in itself. So I didn't even know that the pageant was the first thing that spearheaded. I thought it might have been something else, but I didn't know the pageant spearheaded Inner Beauty, the organization itself. So since that started up until now, and the different things you and your husband does with New Breed of Youth, you guys do college trips every year. I don't know what year was the first year. I think I picked up the baton with you guys around 2016ish or maybe 2017 with it. But when did you guys know that you were going to try to get the kids to see something else besides 38th and Meridian?
So, throughout the time of the pageant, the girls would say like, okay, after 3 months, you're just going to drop us? Like, that's it? And it started with just girls at my church, but the next year, the second year and moving forward, they started inviting their friends, and then community people started figuring out what was going on. We had made the news and, some things like that. And so it started to grow, and the girls were like, this can't be it. And I don't want to go to your church. I go to another church, And so we had to like figure out how to continue what we were doing throughout the year. I was a teacher at that time too. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to find time to be a full-time teacher and start taking on these young ladies like all the time.
Start hearing that calling.
Yeah, it was getting deep. And so eventually I had to come out of the classroom. But before that, you said the college tours. I believe that Victoria Robinson, she was maybe one of the first young ladies that we took on one of the college tours. And I believe that year we took an HBCU college tour, and we went all the way down to Florida. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. we were working with another agency at that time.
Okay.
And not to disparage that agency, but we raised all of the money for the college tour. The girls did. And that lead for the agency did not give us any of the money for the college tour. And said, I'm not going to hold your hand on this. And I'm like, we did car washes. We did bake sales. We showed up and we didn't get a dime. So I cashed in my 401k, the whole thing. And I prayed over that because it wasn't even due to come in time for the trip. And I tell you, God is so good that it came a day before the trip. The check did. I cashed it out and I took my girls on that college tour. We went to Florida and the head of the other agency was like, oh, can I pay for your food? No, I don't want you to hold my hand. You know, this sacrifice that it took for me to cash in my 401k to create a 501c3. It was huge.
You know,
it's a huge sacrifice.
Again, I didn't even know that story. Audience, I'm going to tell you, I'm a little bit biased because I've watched you in the 7+ years that I've known you do some incredible selfless things. And one in which I've told you before, I don't know what day this was. I remember it was some pageant at a high school. There was, I think it was Metropolitan or something. You guys were rehearsing it. This woman got attacked by a dog earlier in the day.
I did.
Went to the hospital, whatever doctor, got wrapped, stitched, bandaged up, and still came out for rehearsal. No days off with Chrystal Hines. She is who she says she is, and she loves this program. I've worked with different schools, one in which we've worked at the same school. I've seen programs come into these schools, and some of them, I won't say all are self-centered based, but it's more about how much we can get on the news than how much are we making an impact. And you can do both, but it's about more so impact. And I see consistently from when I started with you guys up until now, the girls just respect you. They listen to you. It's like a parent. They might not always want to do exactly to the T of what you're asking of them to do. But they always give you the benefit of the doubt to listen and to try to redirect them in the best way. And even you saying the reason why the college trip started, amongst other things, is because what I heard, they wanted more. They wanted more from you because they were seeing a guided direction, whether or not obviously they're getting it at home or not. You know, I had a 2-parent household, greatest childhood ever, but I still had outside people that I looked up to and that I watched to see what they do, you know, other than my parents per se. And that's something that you and Kareem just always hit the nail on every time, is being that example daily. They see you guys roll up your sleeves and get down and dirty.
I have a joke about that. I'm always like, is Ronald McDonald sweeping the floors? Is he cleaning the fryer out? But it's still it's what we have to do.
Yeah.
It's what we have to do. And somebody might be, you know, standing on the outside looking in, and they may not think that, but I will pull this hair back.
Yes.
And
Yes,
I don't care what I'm wearing. I will, whatever it is that needs to be done. If I gotta scrub floors to make things work, if I gotta save money here because it benefits the child there, I will do that.
Yeah. So let's kind of dive into this year's pageant. Where's the location going to be at? I know it's a different one than what it previously usually is. I think this might be bigger and better. I've done it here before, but I'll let you tell the public what about this year's pageant and the theme, what it'll be.
All right. So one of our former queens, Brianna Barnes, she works for the Center of Black Excellence in the Indianapolis Central Library.
Okay.
And she came up to me and she came to support me on a panel, and I wasn't even expecting her. And she's like, hey, I just wanted to, support today. And I'm thinking, seriously? I don't invite people out. I might put it on social media, but I don't call and say, hey, can y'all come and see me do this? If people show up, that's great. But I always believe whoever's supposed to be there shows up. And so she came, and I went and sat next to her after the panel, and she was like, you do know that, you could do some things at the library, right? And I'm like, I never really thought about it. And at the time, we had not finalized where we would have the pageant this year. And I remembered over last summer during summer camp, our girls went and we cheered. I didn't, but they did. The summer camp girls cheered in the auditorium. And I was like, well, what about the auditorium? And she's like, yeah, I'll just, call around and see how we can set that up. And she delivered. Gotcha. And so we are having our pageant on St. Clair Street on Sunday, March 24th at 5 p.m. And this will be the first time in this auditorium. I'm really excited. Yeah. The girls are excited. Yeah. They're nervous, of course, as usual. I'm always nervous too. Yeah. But we are excited about the change in venue, and hopefully this will make history. We'll be in the library.
Got you. Now, let me ask this question for everyone who always drives downtown. You may or may not know, what is the parking like to get in? Because the parking downtown is different now. They got meters everywhere. So where are they supposed to park at Central Library?
We believe that we need to always be barrier busters. And so we have paid for the parking garage.
Oh, man, come on now.
For Sunday, March 24th, because there is nobody that should not be able to show up for their children or to support the children in Indianapolis. We've got 300 seats in that auditorium, and 300 seats should be full.
No excuse.
None. The pageant is free. The parking is free. And the meters are free too because it's Sunday.
That is very true. Just thought about that too as well. Now, do they have to get like a pre-ticket from you guys, or the arm gate's just going to open up? How does that work?
It will just be open.
Okay, so it'll just be open that day. Again, who buys the garage? We've heard of people buying other stuff, but who buys the garage for everybody? That is none other than Inner Beauty Program Incorporated. So again, everybody, make sure you come out. It was March what again?
Sunday, March 24th at 5 p.m.
March 24th at 5 p.m. Make sure that you get your tickets. On the screen here below, you'll see you're going to go to ibnb.org, and you'll see right up there. If you're on your mobile phone, click the menu button. You'll see 2024 Inner Beauty Pageant, or if you're on the website, just look at the navigation bar. You'll see 2024 Inner Beauty Pageant. You can sign up for the ad form. Let's explain that too as well. How does the ad forms work?
So one of the things that helps us to keep costs free for participants is that they sell ad spaces for our ad book. And that's a souvenir book that goes out to all the patrons that come and watch the show that day, as well as those who have put ads into the book. And so we have space, $10, $25, $50, and $100. And you can advertise businesses, or you can support the young ladies and cheer them on by putting messages in there for the girls. You can put pictures, you could put your business card, all types of things in there. But again, this is to help keep the costs free for our young ladies. So just a small fundraising part. And the pageant itself is part of our curriculum. So even if the girls don't get up on stage and participate, the girls that are in our program still have to go through the process, because it's a life skill. We're teaching them public speaking. We're teaching them how to be entrepreneurs. Yeah. We're teaching them to be confident. We're teaching them to introduce themselves boldly. Yeah. We're teaching them how to walk boldly. There's so many lessons in this. We're teaching them sisterhood and unity. Yeah. How to cheer each other on. Yeah. And so the fundraising piece is definitely part of that that curriculum piece. So not only are we raising the funds for the pageant, but also helping them to know how to navigate entrepreneurship.
Gotcha. All right. So you heard it there too as well. Again, you can go to the website, ibnbmentor.org, and you can see all of this information. Just click on that navigational tab, 2024 Inner Beauty Pageant. If you're on the social media, you'll see the QR codes all over the place from Inner Beauty's pages that you can scan that and go right to the ad form to support for this event. Now, for anyone who is not able to come to the pageant that day. We understand life circumstances happen. Also, we understand people just want to watch across the country. Want to see their niece or daughter perform or show their talents off. You can exclusively watch the Inner Beauty Pageant on Unity Soul Network. Again, you'll be able to exclusively watch at 5 p.m. on that Sunday, which is the 24th, the Inner Beauty Pageant on Unity Soul Network on the channel of IBNB TV. So how do you get it? Well, you can start by your phone on all mobile devices, iPhone and Android. You simply go to your App Store or Google Play Store, either one. You're going to type in USN Stream. Again, that's USN Stream. You'll see the logo come up. You'll download it. Once that opens up, then you're going to go to the category area, click on education, and you'll see IBNB TV. Or there's a search bar right up at the top when the app opens, and you can type in IBNB TV. You'll be able to watch it there. Now, also, for anyone who is at home that day, if you're not just on the go, you can watch it on your ROKU television. ROKU television, download it like you would do Disney or Netflix or Hulu, whichever. Just go to your search area and your Roku stick or TV. You're going to type in USN. The logo, again, will come up. You download, install, add the channel. I think that's how it works with Roku. When it opens up, you're going to look for IBNB TV. Yet again, they have their own channel. It's 24/7 streaming. We have some new content coming up. Miss Tiffany Robinson, she's going to start the Healing Room Thursdays at 9:30 in the morning, as well as we have some great new things that's going to be coming up with the young ladies in the month of April that we've been preparing for to give them some new avenues in production and in media. So please download Unity Soul Network, go to IBNB TV. There's content running right now with what we did over the All-Star break weekend, where we've had Eric Garner's daughter, Dwayne Wade's mother. That whole lineup presentation at Martin University was awesome. That's running too as well. You can watch that. It's just a plethora of unseen content that you guys can watch on Unity Soul Network on IBNB TV. So I want to appreciate Miss Chrystal Hines for taking her time out today. I know every day is not perfect, but we try to do our best to make it perfect, to do the things that we need to do. And what you're doing in the community is second to none. And I hope that 10 years from now, same thing I tell my wife Danielle with our kids, that when they go back, our children go back and look at our catalog to see what we've done, that they would be ecstatically happy to see what their parents did, instead of disappointment on what we should have done in the time frame that we living in. And I think with you guys' activism that you guys have done and shown, I've even seen you guys do marches in New York with the kids to show them putting boots to the ground. So we've definitely both been through tragedies in the same year. Your loss of a father, my loss of a mother, and we still put up our bootstraps and kept moving forward. So thank you. We appreciate you.
Well, I want to say thank you. And this guy here, he's the one that keeps our technology right. I would never even thought about doing an interview, having a channel, having a website that works the way it does, if it wasn't for you, Adrian. There's so many things that would be untapped that we just wouldn't even think of. And so I appreciate this. I appreciate you pushing me to make sure that I get here, because Lord knows I just be like, no, I'm on the go, just whatever, Adrian. And so thank you for these times. Thank you for always being behind the camera. Thank you just for making sure that you got our back and you're putting us out there. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you much. Well, you heard it here first. Make sure you come out to the Central Library on March 21st at 5 p.m. If you can't make it, download Unity Soul Network, IBNV TV. Thank you.